Hello and welcome back to Nick Caputo Art. Today I wanted to do a quick review of the Windosr&newton gouache paint set that I've been using for all of my gouache paints so far. First, a little background. I wanted to get into gouaches for a long time, especially since I painted up to that point exclusively with oils. I wanted something that I could mix like oils, something that had great color, great density, great coverage, and great opacity, so that I could paint on top of layers if I wanted to, and even white. And actually, a note on that, this is why my very first gouache painting, which you can actually see here, this is why I painted that specifically. I wanted to see how the white would lay and layer, and it worked out great. So aside from the colors and the values and the coverage and the density, I also wanted something that wasn't as toxic as oils. I love oil paintings, but you know, you need ventilation, you need all sorts of precautions. I have to wear latex gloves to paint and everything else. It ruins your brushes because you need harsh chemicals to clean up brushes, and all sorts of other stuff. So I wanted to get away from that and have something that was water-based, more like acrylics, and again, something that wasn't as harsh. So going back to this set, it's like I said, a really nice entry point. It comes with the following colors: opaque white, primary yellow, medium yellow, vermilion, primary red, ultramarine, primary blue, medium green, burnt sienna, and black. When I was researching gouaches online, these paints seemed a little expensive in my opinion. But I thought, you know, if the value was there, I could get into it. So I searched and searched until I landed on this set, the Windsor&newton gouache paint set, which again is what we have here. I thought the paints were a little small, because I'm used to having something maybe twice as big with oils. But again, you know, I'm learning the medium, so I thought I'll give it a try. I bought this at my local Michael's craft store. It was a little under $20, which I thought was very affordable entry point into the world of gouache. I like to use the three primary colors, you know, so what you would consider medium yellow, ultramarine, and the primary red. I do wish it had a darker brown than this, and usually in oils I don't use black, but combining these two does give me a kind of a burnt umber kind of color, and then obviously white. So it was, again, a good value for me, and you know, using colors that I was familiar with. At first I was worried again that the tubes were too small, but so far I've done about 11 paintings with this, and so far I've only run out of white, which is great. I thought the color selection here is great. The way these colors mix is not too far out from oil, especially if you don't add water, if you just kind of mix them as it is, which is a pleasant surprise for me. It did not require me to have a lot of you know, different learning curve, if you will. The coverage and opacity that these colors provide is great. The colors are opaque and not transparent off the tube, which is really nice. I know there's different ways of painting gouache. Some are closer to watercolors, but again, I paint with very little water in my paints, and I am happy with the opaqueness that I get from this set. Another thing about gouaches is that the light colors dry darker and the dark colors dry lighter, so that's a little bit of an adjustment. If you see some of my earlier videos, you can see me trying to adjust for color, especially in the background, and then multiple times, and you know, trying to overcome this. But it didn't take me long to overcome this. Another cool thing is, coming from oils, these dry way too fast for my liking. So I did end up buying a wet palette, and this gives me just enough time to mix the colors and paint for like 3 or 4 hours without a problem. You can see some of the paintings that I've done here, as well as in my YouTube channel and my Instagram channel. These are all with this set. So like I said, it's been about 11, and you know, I've tried all sorts of different colors, all sorts of different techniques, and I'm very happy. You know, once painted, the paints do dry flat, which is also a great added benefit for taking pictures of your artwork. You can see here there's no glare. Unlike acrylics or oils, the one thing I've learned is you cannot glob onto it. You cannot glob it on, or it will crack. My very first painting has, you know, a little bit of a crack because, again, I was testing that. And I said glob like a big bead or something like that. Everything else I've painted, I've laid it, and it's dried beautifully, in my opinion. You can see here in the sketchbook, you know, so sorts of crazy things. They do bend with the paper, which is really nice. They're durable, which again I'm happy with. One thing about gouache is it does reactivate with water, so you know, you want to keep that away from moisture and that kind of thing. But you know, you don't need to varnish it or seal it or anything. All you need to do is keep it away from that water, and that's it. Cleaning up is great with this as well. Again, for the longevity of my beloved brushes, all you need is water and a little bit of soap, and to clean, you know, the brushes and the palette and everything else. And again, is really nice. If you want to, some people keep the paint, let it dry in their palette, and then reactivate it at a later time with water. I haven't tried this yet, but I'm sure it would work fine. So overall, this Windosr&newton gouache paint set is superb, in my opinion. It's a great way to get into painting gouaches like I have, or try them out for the first time like me. The only bad thing I can say, at least where I live, is that you cannot buy single tubes or gouache paints off the shelf at any of my local art stores. This is a problem because like me, you will run out of paints at different times, and you have no real way of replenishing them. And as you run out, like I ran out of white, I had to go and buy something close to it. I didn't want to buy something online, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, it wasn't sitting in a shelf for, you know, 10 years and it was all caked up and everything else, and returns, and, you know, order this much for free shipping and that kind of thing. So I had to go in and buy something close to it, which is why I ended up buying this Liquitex acrylic gouache, which is kind of an in-between step between gouaches and acrylics. I read that this actually mixes really well with gouaches, and I tried it myself, and indeed it does. I ran out of the white probably halfway through that book, and I've used this ever since, and so far I'm very happy with the performance. So yeah, again, in short, this is the Windosr&newton gouache paint set. I think is a fantastic set, fantastic value for anyone who wants to try gouaches. Windosr&newton and local art stores, please sell tubes by themselves. And yeah, if you have any other questions, please leave me a comment, gouache that like button, and until the next one, thank you for watching.